Shalom to all the visitors tuning in to the show tonight. I know I just made a show called Give to the Poor, so I want to do a follow-up about a show that I'm going to call The Tithing Deception, or The Truth About Tithes. There's a lot of deception in the world overall, of course, but I want to deal with a very, very important topic that is not being discussed, that is not being preached about in your local church. I hope that with this lecture tonight, that the Most High will open up your eyes, He will open up your ears, and He will open up your spirit to receive this valuable information. As you may not know, 99% of these pastors, or the top echelon of these church pastors and reverends, they don't want you to hear this information. They don't want you to get a hold of this information. The tithing industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry all from the ignorance of the masses, all from the ignorance of you. If you're tithing to a church, you're a part of their agenda. And you may be a part of their agenda because you don't understand. I didn't understand, but I've come to the truth. And silence is betrayal. If you know the truth and don't say the truth, then the blood is on your hands. So I pass this baton to you so that you may pass the baton to someone else. We're going to talk about the tithing deception. And what we're going to talk about is who is tithing for, what is it for, and why is it for. Tithing doesn't have to do anything with money, and we're going to talk about that. Tithing doesn't have to do with anything about funding the Christian church. Because all the Christian churches is doing with this tithe money, they're using the money from the tithe to buy these jets and cars and limousines, and they take another portion of the money to open up another Christian or Baptist or Catholic church in your community to preach more false doctrines and lies to the people and to accept more tithes. This is one of the great deceptions. And we're going to talk about it. It's not to fund white supremacy. And yes, I said white supremacy. It doesn't have to do with racism. I'm just calling it bluntly how it is. This is real TV. It all promotes this the agenda of saying that Jesus is blonde hair with blue eyes. They say that God is white. They basically say that all the angels are white. You see all the statues of white angels and cherubs, and they show it in the movies that Jesus is white, that Moses is white. Gods of Egypt, the movie that came out, was it last year or so? All the Egyptians were white. All the Hebrews were white. In the paintings, all the great prophets and Yeshua, they portrayed him as white. So this is not about racism. It's talking about I'm talking about funding the agenda of the elite of the tithing deception. And I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to keep it real. This is real TV, so we're going to keep it real. We're going to break down the real. We're going to break down the veil of lies and expose it for what it is. I'm not affiliated with any of the Christian or Baptist or Catholic churches. I'm not here to caress anyone's feelings. I'm here to tell it how it is. And before I tell it how it is, I'll be right back in just a moment after the short break. Real TV. Yeah, this one gonna be a show Life is short. So you gotta be thankful, you gotta be mindful. Car flipped 3 times on the road, coming straight from the ATL. I just thank God that he ain't sent me to hell. Life is short. My cousin Theron got 4th stage cancer and all. Dang, we just had a family reunion and all. Dang, my girl, uncle, wife just died from cancer and all. Life is short. We gotta just be mindful and all. But sometimes we don't want. My heart dropped when my mom told me she felt a bubble, or she felt a pee, or she felt a bump. Dang, that was the first time I ran to Susan G. Komen for the pink awareness, and I'm glad that it went away. Life is short, I'm so glad. And Von Shay, I'm praying for you, bruh. I know you got cancer and it went gone and came back. And I know this not a rap song. Life is short, but you got it. You gon' make it, bruh. Alright, again, this is Michael Israel here. I always would like to give a big thanks to you for tuning in to the show. So thank you. Alright, so let's deal with it. We're talking about the truth about tithes. Alright? So what we have to realize, and as we may realize, is that Satan is telling lies to the Christian church. He's telling lies across the world. When you open up the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, it reads, "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, who deceiveth the whole world." So we have it right there that there's deception across the entire world. And one of the deceptions that we're going to talk about tonight is the truth about tithes. Satan is deceiving the world to believe that tithing is about money. Well, the deception is already here. Some people may live averagely on their everyday lives and may think that we're not living in the end times. But it's right here in front of us. Have you ever was looking for your keys and you walked all the way around the house? You flipped the living room couch up, you pulled the cushions out, you searched the living room, you searched the dining room, you looked in your car, you searched outside of your car, you looked at the ground, you probably even opened up the fridge to look, knowing it's not in the fridge, and it was right there in your pocket. Or that's like having a pair of shades that you're looking for, and they're on your forehead the entire time, but you're looking all over for it. That's how deception is. It's all over the world, and it's all over the church. It's all over a lot of these churches in the world. As I've said before in many of my shows, we are the church. Our body is our temple. So one of the first things that we need to do is get the deception out of our church. Get the lies out of our own church. We got to clean the gunk out. So we're going to talk about it right now. In Leviticus verse 30, chapter 27. So Leviticus 27, verse 30. It reads, "And all the tithe of thy land, whether of the seed of the land or of the fruit of the tree, it is the Lord's. It is holy unto the Lord." Okay, what did we just read? It's talking about the seed of the land or the fruit of the what? Tree. So we're talking about right now that tithe is food. Tithe is about food. Reading on. "And if a man at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add a fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of herd or of the flock, even whatsoever passeth under the rod, the 10th shall be unto the Lord." So what did we just read? What are we talking about? It just talked about the herd or the flock. The herd or the flock. So in this verse, it's talking about meat. But in the very first verse that we read, it's talking about fruits and vegetables. It's talking about food. Tithe is about food. In Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 22. "Thou shalt surely tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year." It's not talking about money here. It's not talking anything about money. It's talking about food. Reading on. "And thou shalt eat." Hold on. "And thou shalt eat." Hold on. Did it say, "and thou shalt pay"? No. It says, "Thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God." No. Or did it say, "Thou shalt drop $100 in the basket before the Lord thy God"? No. It didn't say. Did it say, "Thou shalt write a check and give it to the church before the Lord thy God"? No. It didn't say that. It's not talking about money. It say, "Thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name." It's talking about food, and it's telling you to eat. All right, well, you say, Michael, where's the place Yahweh has chosen to place his name? Where's that place he's talking about then? All right, well, let's deal with it. Chapter 2. Let's go to 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 6. 2 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 6. "But I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name might be there, and have chosen David to be over my people Israel." So that is the place where the Most High has chosen. He has chosen Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the place. Okay? All right. So, continuing on, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 23. And then we'll talk about verse 24 also. Okay, so let's go. "The tithe of corn," the tithe of corn, "of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of the herds." Hold on. Let's deal with it. "And thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord Yahweh always." So it's talking again about food. It's not talking about money. Tithing is not about money. Tithing is not about passing the basket around at your local church. The tithing is talking about the corn, the wine, the oil, the herds, and the flocks. In Deuteronomy 14, verse 24, it's basically talking about if you're too far from Jerusalem, if you're too far from the city that God has chosen, then what do? What you do is, when it's breaking it down, is saying that you should take your flocks, your herds, count them up, and you turn it into money. And then you take that money and then you divide the money. So basically, if you had 1,000 sheep, if you had 100 pounds of tomatoes, if you had 100 pounds of corn, if you had 100 oxen, you'll divide it up and then you'll turn it into money. And then you'll take that portion of money and you'll divide it amongst the people. We're going to talk about who the people are that are supposed to receive a part of this. But it's talking about how you should eat the tithe. And ain't say nothing about putting money into a basket or swiping your card at your local church's ATM and giving it to your pastor. It talks about how one of the tithes is for you, how you should eat before the Lord. But what's going on? What's going on in other parts of the scripture? Well, you say, Michael, well, in Malachi chapter 3, verse 8, our pastor, preached about, will a man rob God? Yet have robbed me, but say, wherein have we robbed thee? In thy tithes and offering. You say, well, that's the verse right there. We rob God by tithes and offering. Well, we're going to deal with it. But what's going on in these Christian churches, these Christian pastors, these Baptist pastors, these Catholic priests, they take that scripture, they take that main scripture and use it to put a guilt trip on you. That's what they're doing. They're not teaching or preaching you the law. They're not telling you the whole word. They're using psychology against you, as if Yahweh needs your dollar bills, as if Yahweh cares about your money. It's not about money. We just read what it's about. It's plain as day. It's plain as day. Well, it talks about, how do we rob the Most High? Again, we're going to deal with it a little bit further. But as a quick overread, in Malachi chapter 1, verse 12, it talks about how we rob God by giving God torn and lame and sick offerings. Trying to give him one-eyed sheep and try to give them ripped up animals that have been fighting with each other, animals with broken arms, a sheep that's about to die, those type of things. The Most High wants the best of the best. He doesn't want want your broken offering. He doesn't want the totem pole of what you have to offer. He wants the best of the best. Period. It's not about sowing $100 seed today at your local church, at your local sanctuary, and getting $1,000 the next month, $1,000 the next week from that one seed that you sowed. It's nothing about money. It's about sowing into one spirit, sowing holy words into one spirit, sowing the good news into someone's spirit. These words here. It's not about a $100 bill. That's going to diminish. It's not about a $20 bill. They always complain about, we need money to keep the lights on. Well, how much is your bill, sir? How much is how much is the water bill at the church? How many people are using the water like that? How much is the electric? Churches barely can keep the AC on cool in this summer. They can't even put the AC on 61 degrees, 60 degrees. They tripping about the heat. They cut the air off and stuff. Don't tell me you never been in no church and it was hot. It wasn't hot during the summer or hot during the winter. They ain't want to cut on the AC. But anyways, it's not about money. That's the loophole. That's the Christian church's deception. That's one of the great deceptions of this world that's going on in churches. But what they like to say is that, the Christians just say, we're not under the law. We're not under the law. we're under Christ now. With Christ, the law is done away with. We're under Christ. Well, why is it that if we're not under the law, they want to get rid of all the laws, but they want to keep just this one law about tithing? And then they take it and flip it. Why is that? Why? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why. All right? We're going to talk about why. And what we're going to do is we're going to read a little bit more. All right? We're going to read just a little bit more. All right, so Deuteronomy, again, chapter 14, verse 24, we're going to read a little bit. And if the way be too long for thee, so that art not be able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy Most High shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord Most High has blessed thee, then thou shalt turn it into money. Then you should turn it into money, and bind up the money in thy hand, and thou shalt go unto the place where Yahweh thy Yahweh shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusted after. Now it's not talking about no strip clubs and prostitutes and escorts and crack and this and that and meth and all that and flaker. Nah. Percocet, Molly Percocet. No, it's not talking about Xanax and this and that. It's talking about for oxen, for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink. All right, let's go down a little bit. Who is the tithing for? All right. Well, it says right here, and the Levite that is within thine gates, thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase thy same year, and thou shalt lay it up within thy gates. I just want to talk about that for a minute. Now, I can see of one thing, even though tithing is not this way, it doesn't have anything to do with money, but I could kind of understand and see if the preachers and the priests and the reverends and the apostles and the bishops of these churches gathered all the tithes from all the people in the church. And then they take that money and they count it up. And then they divide it up back to the people. They gave it back to the people. I can understand that. And they buy them cars that they may need, those without. They help those with groceries in need. They just give back. But that's not what's going on. They're buying their $3 million jets. They actually have like 2 jets, 12 limousines, 1,000 suits, 100 pair of gaiters. You know, the women pastors are buying MAC makeup and dresses and more diamond jewelry. I don't even want to get into the women in the pulpit. Let me stay on topic. That's a whole different show. But these are the things that they're doing. Right? So it says right here. And the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all thy work of thy hand which thou doest. So those are the people that are getting it. You already know that you're going to get a part of this tithe also, because the Lord told you to eat before him. So you get a portion. Who else gets a portion? The Levite gets a portion. Why? Because he has no inheritance. And then the stranger gets a portion. The fatherless gets a portion. And the widow. The widow is a woman without a husband. So these are all the people who get a portion of this tithe. It ain't say nothing about the pastor. None of that. You know what I mean? They're taking this money and they're using your money. And they're doing wrong with it. And they're not telling you the truth into its entirety. Welcome to Real TV. All right. So let's go ahead and read another breakdown. Let's go ahead and read another breakdown. So Malachi chapter 1 verse 12 through 14. But ye have profaned it, in that ye say, the table of the Lord is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even his meat, is contemptible. Ye say also, behold, what a weariness is it. So people got tired of giving their firstlings. People got tired of giving their offerings to the Lord. This is how you rob God right here, with tithes and offering. And ye have snuffed at it, saith the Lord of the hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick. Thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, saith the Lord? So what they were doing, they were giving the animals, like I said, those one-eyed sheep, those broken down oxen, and all this and that. They were giving them bad offering. And then it goes on to read, but curse be the deceiver which hath in his flock a male, and voweth and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. Heathen means irreligious person. Okay, so let's go ahead and read another precept. See, you got to read precept upon precept, line upon line. When they tell you that you should, give tithes and offering, all right, then tell me the rest. Tell me the rest. Who is it going to? Why am I giving it? Why don't they have any open-end questions at the end of the sermons? They just preach and that's it. There's no Bible study. There's no, what do you mean by this, pastor, reverend, priest, whatever. It's just, come down here, pray. That's it. Everybody go home. Or you maybe go to the fellowship hall, eat, and then go home. All right. So Malachi chapter 3, verse 10 through 11. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, saith the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there would not be enough room to store it. I will prevent pests from devouring your crops, and the vines in your field will not drop their fruit before it's ripe, says the Lord Almighty. So, what they try to say is that, again, with these prosperity preachers, if you sow this seed, the Most High will open up the floodgates on you, this and that, right? But then, they're not talking about that is food. It's dealing with food. The Most High just said that he will prevent what? The pests from devouring the crops. And the vines of your fields will not drop. It's talking about food, guys, ladies. It's talking about food, y'all. It's plain. So, like they say, the law is done away with. That was back in the old time. This is old. Back we don't have farms now. We can't give crops. I don't have sheep. I don't have cow. That was back in the day. That's the old word. We got to give money now. We have to give our silver, our gold, our shekels now. That's done away with. That's old. Man, what you talking about, man? You crazy, man. We ain't got to talk about no farm and food. All right, let's deal with it then. Matthew chapter 23, verse 23. Matthew chapter 23, verse 23. Whoa. So when they say whoa, that's pretty serious. If you had a horse and you going off the cliff, you headed towards the cliff, you're going to tighten that rope and say, whoa, 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 horsey, whoa, 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 whoa. Or you going off of that cliff. It says, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin. What are they talking about? Tithes of mint, anise, and cumin. Spices, food, herbs. They're talking about food. And have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ye ought to have done, and not to leave the other undone. It's talking about food. Again. And that's in the New Testament. Matthew is the New Testament. All right, let's go on. Let's go on. They say, oh, that's back in the day. That's old. The law is done away with. You know what I mean? That's back in, again, that was in biblical time. That was, all right. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 32. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Let's read that one more time. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Let's read that one more time. What thing soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor diminish from it. Let's read that one more time. One more time. What things soever I command you, observe to do it. Thou shalt not add thereto, nor what? Diminish from it. Plain. Let's read one more. Let's read one last one. All right. Okay. So we're going to deal with 1 Timothy. All right. Chapter 6, verse 3 through 10. If any man teach otherwise, consent not to wholesome words, even the words of the Lord Yeshua, or Mashiach, Christ, and to do the doctrine which is according to godliness. He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. So what are these modern day pastors and preachers doing? They're promoting that gain is godliness. Again, if you sow this seed, you're going to get this. If you sow this seed, you're going to get that. These are your Joel Osteens, your TD Jakes, these $40 million, $90 million plus pastors and preachers preaching this false doctrine, knowing good and well, even if, just think of it this way. If you had a $40 million Joel Osteen salary a year, you don't need $40 million. You can live comfortably off of $500,000, $1 million, in good comfort. And you could take that $39 million and distribute it to the poor. But they're not doing that. Because why? They're affiliated. They're part of the what? Agenda. They're part of the what? Elite. If they speak, they're what? Dead. Period. They took an oath with Satan to do what? Preach the false doctrine. To not preach the truth about tithes, amongst other things. This is what's going on. And this is why this problem still exists. Because a lot of people are asleep and a lot of people need to what? Awake. You gotta wake up. So let's read that one more time. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. So what do you do if you're in the church and they're preaching that gain is godliness? We're going to talk about it. It says, from such withdraw thyself. So if your church has what? An ATM in the front, the back, the side, you need to do what? Withdraw thyself. If they're telling you that you need to sow this $20 seed to get this, withdraw thyself. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. A lot of these pastors and preachers that are mega pastors and preachers fall into lust, fall into temptation and crazy snares and foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. We have seen this over and over again, where these Catholic priests are having sex with boys. They're having homosexual sex. They're buying outrageous $1 million mansions and Lamborghinis. And goodness, they're picking the alligators out themselves for the latest Stacey Adams and Hills and what have you. It reads on, for the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveteth after, they erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. And that's pretty much the gist of it, y'all. That's pretty much what's going on right now. This is the truth about tithes. What we just discussed is the truth about tithes. All right? Now, I want to cover this. I want to iterate this. Okay? Alms is a must. Giving alms is totally different than giving tithes. Now, the alms is spoken about in the Holy Scripture, which is spelled ALMS. If you don't know what alms mean, let me tell you what alms mean. All right? Alms is a noun. Alms is money, food, or donations given to the poor or needy. It's basically anything that is given to charity. Anything that is given to charity. Pardon the background noise, but again, this is real TV. So let us not let that distract us. So there's nothing wrong with giving alms. We just broke down the meaning of alms and who alms go to. There's many scriptures on that. Alms and tithes are completely different. And what we just covered is the truth about tithes. There's a song that I'm going to play. I was going to cut it short, but I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, and then I'll be right back. But this song is called The Rapture. It's from an album that I created called Freestyle the Album. And it's nothing that I'm sharing to go viral or anything. It's just something from my personal archive that I'm going to share with you. I had a friend that gave me several beats, several instrumentals, and I heard them all, and within 20 to 30 minutes I made an entire album. They say whatever comes from the heart is heartfelt. I didn't write anything. I had no idea what I was going to say. They say if it comes from the heart, it's heartfelt. So that's what I gave. I gave whatever was in my heart, and that's what came out. So all these songs that I play that are created by myself are things that I never wrote. It's just something that I just happened to freestyle, and it just happened to become a song. So check this out. It's called The Rapture. And after this quick break, we'll be back with Not on the Mainstream News, Real TV. Michael Israel here. I would like to share with you a dream that I had last night. And so glad, I'm thankful it is morning to see the sun through the blinds and the lines on my chest from the sun rays. As I lay on this bed, I was scared, but I'm glad that I am awake. I'm glad that I can poetically incline these words. Poetically incline some verbs, some nouns of how and what happened. I had a dream that I was on a bus, and I was alone, no driver, and nobody on the bus, a yellow school bus. And I got off the bus as I looked through the window pane in the sky, and the moon was red, and the sky was black, and nobody was round. My heart just pound and pound and pound and pound and pound. As I looked around. I felt alone, alone. It was like the world ended and I was the only one left home. Like a rapture happened. I was so scared because I was left there because I didn't love you right. I didn't become a part of the rapture that happened that night. Poetically inclined, I must try to convey these words to you. I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm awake. I'm glad that you're here next to me. I'm glad that you're here next to me. I gotta let the beat play. And this song here is called The Rapture, y'all. Again, thanks for listening. We're back, Real TV here. And it's been a while since we've talked about some of the topics from not on the mainstream news. We got a lot of crazy things that's going on in this world, as always. And I'll read a couple of slides here on some of the things that I want to discuss. And what really threw me for a loop and caught me by surprise is the topic of clouds. This is maybe a little bit old, but it's new to me, so I want to share it with you. The Cloud Atlas for 2017 has added 12 new types of clouds. They have added 12 new different types of clouds. Now, call me old school, I guess, but I remember growing up and there was only 3 types of clouds. I want to say it was 3 main. You had cirrus, and then you had circumcirrus, something like that, and then you had like stratus, circumstratus, or stratus. Like 3 main types of clouds. But now, according to the Cloud Atlas, they made a revised edition of these extra clouds that they're talking about. So we have Flammagenitus, we have Homogenitus, there's Asperitus, there's Cavum, Fluctus, Flumen, Murus, Cauda, Cataractogenititis, Salvagenititis, Homomutatus, which is another form of, it looks like chemtrails. And the list goes on. But they have 12 new clouds that they have added names for now. 12. I find it a little odd, a little strange. I thought that one was weird. Also, not on the mainstream news, we have this is pretty interesting. LG Signature W Series Wallpaper TV. TV makers today face an impossible task. On one hand, consumers expect new screens to make TV shows and movies look fantastic. On the other, they want these eye-popping displays to bend seamlessly into their living room. LG's Signature W Series Wallpaper TV accomplishes this masterfully. The $7,999 65-inch display weighs just 16 pounds and is 0.15 inches thick, making it seem like the screen is floating on the wall. It's mounted with magnets, no bulky brackets necessary, but it's the organic LED technology, blase, blah, 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 blase, blah. So you have an $8,000 TV that is as thin as wallpaper, y'all. This is crazy. This is crazy. And I'm pretty sure this is on some of y'all's quote-unquote Christmas list coming up. I'm not too surprised with technology, as if the world doesn't know. As a majority, I mean, the military, the government, these scientists, they are 50 years ahead, 50, 80 years ahead of what they put in front of us. So, with that being said, when they had the black and white TV, when they had a TV period, they already had they probably already had this TV back then. You know what I mean? It's just too organized for it to be, first is the box TV. And then they come out from the box black and white to color box. From box to flat. You know what I mean? From flat to this wallpaper. Next thing you know, it's going to be holographic TVs. If they don't have it out already. Speaking of TVs, there's this material called graphene or graphenite. They're going to have bendable phones dropping in 2018. These bendable phones are made of graphene. They're made of graphenite. And all cellular phone devices will be made of this in the future. This bendable material. We can fold the cell phone up and put it in your pocket. It sounds too good to be true, but it will be. It'll be as thin as an ID card, and you can fold it up and put it in your pocket. And this is also a stock option. I don't suggest anyone purchasing stocks, because stocks is a form of gambling, and I don't gamble. And the scripture says that they gamble for his garments. They at the end of at the cross when he died for our sins. So and again, that's a whole nother topic. I just want to throw that in there. But also not on the mainstream news, teen girls invent solar powered tents for homeless with no engineering experience, and they won a grant from MIT. So in this article from TrueActivist.com, a group of 12 girls with no prior engineering experience developed a solar-powered tent for the homeless. Congrats to the ladies. Let's hold on. This is just awesome. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what children need to be going to school for: creativity, industrial design. See what we can do to better the world versus them telling us false history. Why can't we have a school where they teach us how to farm? They teach us how to hunt. They teach us how to clean a gun and shoot a gun, and how to build industrial designs for the world, for the better. So with that being said, let's go ahead and give these ladies a round of applause. Let's just give them a hand. Just awesome. Just awesome. So again, reading into this article, a group of 12 girls with no prior engineering experience developed a solar-powered tent for the homeless. Along the way, they learned ins and outs of sewing, coding, and 3D printing. Due to flailing economy, homelessness is on the rise in such cities as Los Angeles. Fortunately, a new innovation had developed by students at San Fernando High School has may help those who are stranded on the streets, at least until a more permanent solution is presented. Bored Panda reports that with absolutely no experience, a group of young females invented a solar-powered tent that rolls up into a backpack. Together, the 12 females were recruited by DIY, Do-It-Yourself Girls, a nonprofit organization that empowers young women from low-income families in LA to pursue fields in technology and engineering. Overseeing the project was Executive Director of DIY Girls, Evelyn Gomez. The girls primarily use YouTube videos and information found on Google searches to produce a tent that offers major benefits to homeless individuals. Throughout the process, they learn skills such as sewing, coding, and 3D printing, etc. We just talked about that. Also, not on the mainstream news, if you need to get buried in the future, there are other options. Eco-friendly burial suit transform your bodies into mushrooms after you die. Wow. I'll pass on the spaghetti on that one. Okay, so this is crazy. This is insane. You may have heard this, you may have not. But also, not on the mainstream news. Smart contact lenses, y'all. Smart contact lenses is on the rise. Production is being made now. Sony is developing a smart contact lens. This lens, which can record videos and also play them back. Each contact lens can be controlled by the user's deliberate blinks and features autofocus exposure adjustment and zooming capabilities. It also features piezoelectric sensors, which convert the movements of the eye into energy to power the lens. The image capture and storage technology are embedded in the lens around the iris. Inbuilt storage allows the user to access these recordings and images easily within the lens. We're living in the end times. They are crazy. They're trying to build superhumans. Superhumans. If you get a chance, of course you need to be 18 or older. You need to watch this film called Black Mirror. And on one of the shows, I can't think of the name of the actual show or episode, but one of the guys, him and his girlfriend got in a dispute, and she deleted him, if you will. And when she deleted him, he looked like a static screen. You could put people on delete for a portion of a time or forever. And she deleted him, and in his eyes, he was able to play back videos and stuff. This video or this series from Black Mirror is ahead of its time. It is the modern day Twilight Zone. It is wild, to say the least. All right. So I'll read a couple more slides here, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Doctors call for plant-based meals in hospitals. Finally, right? I mean, you'll think, like, what's been the holdup? What's been the holdup on this? Doctors are calling for plant-based meals into hospitals, according to VegNews.com. The American Medical Association, or the AMA, House of Delegates, a group of 200,000 physicians, issued a policy statement last week to remove disease-causing foods from hospital menus nationwide. AMA hereby call on U.S. hospitals to improve the health of patients, staff, and visitors by providing a variety of healthful food. The AMA's resolution states, including plant-based meals and meals that are low in fat, sodium, and added sugars. The statement further asks hospitals and staff to lead by example by eliminating processed meats from the menu and providing and promoting healthful beverages. Neil Barnard, of MD, founder of 12,000-member Medical Association Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, spoke at AMA's meeting and pointed out how effective the organization has been in removing cigarettes from medical facilities. A generation ago, Barnard said the AMA supported doctors who were working to get tobacco out of their hospitals, and they helped everyone, especially those patients who needed to break a habit. In 2015, the World Health Organization reclassified processed meats in the same cancer-causing category as cigarettes. And several recent studies have proven that, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So that's good news. That's pretty good news. Okay. So this is wild. This is wild. Also not on the mainstream news. We're going to talk about Cynthia McKinney. This article is about 5,000 prisoners being executed. Quote, her son's charge by the Department of Defense was to process 5,000 bodies that had received a single bullet wound to the head. The bodies were dumped in the swamp in Louisiana. This is true. I suspect that these were prisoners. According to Cynthia McKinney, who was a part of the Green Party presidential candidate in September 28, 2008. Well, this U.S. Congresswoman, Cynthia McKinney, and the alleged 5,000 dead Hurricane Katrina inmates, they're saying that 5,000 Katrina inmates were killed, that they were shot point blank in the head. It says that she charged the Department of Defense with the cover-up of 5,000 execution-style deaths during the chaotic aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in September 2005 on September 28th. She related that an anonymous mother told her that her son had processed 5,000 corpses, mostly male, with the single... Hang on, man. This is crazy, man. With the single bullet wound to the head, and entered the results into a Pentagon computer. The mother stated that the son... I want to talk about the Pentagon 1 second. Also not on the mainstream news, not too long ago, 200, Google this, look it up now, 200 members of the Pentagon were caught with pedophilia, child pornography. It makes you wonder. Now, they're talking about these results are into the Pentagon computer. What if they put two and two together? Let me stay on topic. The mother stated that the son had signed a confidentiality agreement and could not legally talk, that they put him on a gag order, and that the bodies were dumped into the swamp. Damn shame, man. This is crazy. McKinney said in the same statement she received confirmations from anonymous insiders from the Red Cross, and that McKinney said she suspected that these 5,000 were prisoners of the state. If I'm not mistaken now, I want to say that this lady is she's probably dead now. All right, this is a couple of days ago, fresh, from June 28th. According to the Countercurrent News, CCN, not CNN, but CCN, Brad Pitt elite Hollywood pedophiles control America. So this is talking about Brad Pitt is going in. All right. Seasoned movie veteran in movie business, Pitt speaks about his experiences after witnessing the dark side of the entertainment industry firsthand. Brad Pitt describes how the whole TV and film industry is run around a culture of grooming children for child trafficking networks that reach across the United States and beyond, into the upper echelons of the political spectrum and societal hierarchy. Quote, "You think Hollywood is about making movies? That's just a byproduct. It's about making money and, more importantly, power and control," end quote, says Brad Pitt. Quote, "The people who run Hollywood also run America and most of the world, and they don't care about movies. You've heard of the Illuminati, right? Secret societies and politicians, the bankers, the media. They're the ones running these pedophile rings, and they're the ones that run the world. And it goes back to Hollywood. Kids want to be in movies, or should I say parents want their kids to be in movies, and they'll do anything to get them famous. When they asked why Hollywood was targeted by the elite networks, he said, it's the parents. It's the American dream to be famous, and the parents will do anything to get them there. Have you ever met the mom of a child actor? They're nuts. It's easy pickings. And they're the one, oh man. And they're the ones that run the world. And it all goes back to Hollywood. My bad. Well, let me go down. Okay. It's the parents. It's the American dream to be famous, and the parents will do anything to get them there. Have you ever met the mom of a child actor? They're nuts. It's easy pickings, and it's not just movies. It's TV. It's showbiz. The parents are basically selling their kids' souls for fame. Mr. Pitt goes to expose the motivation behind the elite child trafficking and how the children are giving roles to influence other children to push the agenda. He describes how children are used as political currency while the parents turn a blind eye and hope that their offspring will be the next box office smash. One of these elites buys into a movie. 1,000 kids go for a lead role. 100 of them will probably work, and some young kid with the pushy mom turns up will do anything to get the part. Again, this is talking about the pedophilia that's going on in the world, in Hollywood, this Pizzagate, all this spirit cooking, all this Illuminati. Was talking to you sheeple who need to wake up, who don't believe that the Illuminati is not real. This is all about the New World Order. Alright? This stuff is true. And I'm going to close it on that. On Not on the Mainstream News. 4th of July is coming up soon, and there's a lot that needs to be talked about. I got shows waiting for y'all about Hollywood that I'm going to be putting together. There's a lot coming up soon, so stay tuned. This is Michael Israel here with Real TV. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, why not? I love y'all. Be safe.